Welcome back. So the next segment we're going to talk about is sales and marketing. And by the way, if you are feeling like, wow, I've watched a lot of video and a lot of time, remember that these are all short segments that you can come back to at any time you want to have a look at and watch again, and then read the notes in the context with it, because I don't cover what's written in the actual notes specifically. What I'm trying to do is give you information that in the notes to give you some details, but in the discussions in the videos, what we're trying to do is expand on that, not just read what you got written down. We really want to get you to see that there's a lot more to this, and there's a lot more that you'll come up with on your own. So let's get started on the marketing and sales aspects of your business. So, when you're looking at marketing, in your planning stages, you looked at who your demographics are, what they like, what are the things that are important to them, what makes them want to come back. And that's the important part, is remember, the product that you sell, you want repeat customers. If you're selling a product that's a one-time purchase, I strongly recommend that you think about what you're doing. What else could you offer? Because what you want is people that come back again and again and again. Otherwise, you will spend your life finding new customers, and it'll get harder and harder. As you grow, though, obviously it gets better, but just remember that you're starting out small, so you want repeat customers, and that's important in understanding what you're doing from a marketing perspective and a business perspective. Now, when you're looking at creating your brand, it's really important that you understand that your brand is really important, and the brand should depict what you sell and what you stand for. So, if you see a really cool logo, or someone develops a really cool logo, you need to be critical of that and look at it and say, what does the logo say? What does the byline say? What does the name of the business say? If it doesn't convey what you sell, you need a different logo. Even no matter how cool that is, you need something that people look at it and go, I know what that is. And they know immediately that that's what they're going to be looking at, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So it is really important that you look at that. Just checking in on my notes here is, one of the parts of branding that people sometimes miss is very simple things like an insert that goes into a box along with your product, or the packaging that your product is in. Make sure that the packaging makes it exciting to open that product. Even if the first thing that they see is a pamphlet, let's say you don't have structured packaging, but you can put a pamphlet in that, one, talks to them about what did they just buy, and what they're going to use it for, and how you'd like to engage with them, and how they can find out more and get help and connect with other people that are using the same products and services. And so that's really important that you make that part of your packaging, and that's all developed in your marketing and what you do. Make sure that you are always, I'm just human. Make sure that you always understand and maintain who your customers are, where they are, and their most current information. So, once you've sold them something, one, check in with them. Call them and say, did you receive your product? Were you happy? What were the things you liked best about it? Because this is where you can get all your referrals. Send them to your Facebook page or any of your social media pages or your website, and ask them to leave a testimonial. But at the same time, confirm that you have all of their address and contact information correct, and make sure that they would like to see more information from you. And don't bombard them with so much email and marketing stuff that they want to turn you off. Give them just enough so that it keeps an interest in who you are and what your product is. The one way to look at things is, a lot of people will say, oh, offer huge discounts. Here's what I'm going to tell you. There are two ways to look at that. Some people will look at it and say, oh, big discount, I'm going to buy it. Other people will say, is it a discount? Is this a bad product? Why such a big discount? So when you use discounts, make sure that you use them very effectively. Understand your audience. If you know what their price point is, then don't heavily discount. Price it at the right point, and then give them incentives to do more, and thereby get a discount or something like that. But never give them a discount just for that product. That's what I would recommend. So have a look at that and make sure that you understand that. The other way to do that is to offer them, when you're marketing the first time and you're sending things out and advertising them, offer them a freebie. Now, that freebie may cost you absolutely, literally zero to produce, except maybe your time. But the fact that they're getting something free makes people look at it. They go, oh, it's for free. Let me have a look. I wonder what that is. Let me check it out. So make sure whatever you give them provides a level of value to the person that's getting it. That's really, really important. Don't give them a freebie that's not worth anything at all. Even if it's just giving them an information they didn't have, that information could be very valuable to them, although it was easy for you to produce. So make sure there's value in what you're giving as a freebie, and a lot of people like that. And as I said, in the discount scenario, you can give them some discounts when they purchase more of something or something in addition to what they were looking for, such as an add-on product or a complementary product, or a product that they were buying it for a man and there's a woman's version available. Things like that, so that you can look at that. One important part in that is if you have a website and you have social media, make sure that in the development of your marketing materials and everything that you're going to communicate, that you always include an email address. How do they get hold of you? A contact number. How do they phone? Where do they phone customer service? Where do they phone for sales? Who do they contact? How do they contact them? Do they get newsletters? Is your website on every single piece of information? And a lot of people will use Q codes and things like that so that people can just scan them and go straight to the website. You can use those. They're not used as much anymore, but certainly those are some of the things that using a QR code that certainly, it still works. And we still use it in some of our banners and things like that, so that if somebody walks past our banner, rather than writing it down, they can just pick up their phone, take a picture of the QR code, and there they are. And so that really works, right? So we also want to look at your data and understand that, analyze it to look at it, to understand so what's working, what's not. And some of you will have heard the term A/B testing. A/B testing means you're advertising or you're marketing the same product, and you develop a marketing campaign that puts it out in this way, and then an option in a different way, and then you see which one performs better. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do that. On Facebook, you can spend $5, $10 at a time to test each one and see what are the responses. Which one did we get clicks on? Which one? Or none? Which one did we get an action out of? Now that's one we're really interested in. And how did we engage those customers? So that's really important. Can you go to the next slide, please? Always ask your customers for feedback. Sometimes people are fearful to do this because, what's the customer going to say? Oh, they're going to say something bad. The answer is every bit of information the customer gives you is good. Whether you categorize it as good or bad doesn't matter. It's feedback, and what it tells you to do is, what can I do better? And this may be a way to save a customer where they've had an experience that is not as good as they wanted, but because you asked them for feedback and you took that feedback seriously, they actually come back and shop with you again because they feel heard. They feel like they're part of your family, and that's really important for you to look at. So another aspect of it is, are you writing blogs? And this is one way you can keep excited in your business, and you can keep people that are working with you excited about your business. Is ask people to create blog ideas that you're going to put out on social media, that you can obviously put out on your blog and your website. But it gives them a way to get excited about something else on a new day, on a different week, and you're getting everybody included in how that business is growing and looking at it. So it is really, it's really a great way to have a look at it. The other things that you could look at is, when you're looking at blogs, it doesn't always have to have a call to action in it. It could just be information. It could be just somebody's experience. That's it. Don't try and sell them anything. Just tell them about that person's experience. Let them take the next step. Because if you're always in sales mode, you will put people off. But if you're sharing with people, they'll take next steps on their own, and you won't need to prompt them to do that. So it's a really great way to do it. And what's the next slide, please? Give me the next slide, please. So now that we have looked at this, let's look at what else you put into what else you put into your advertising. When you look at your advertising, sometimes you're maintaining quality and information in things that seem to be completely unrelated. But because we've said we always keep our eye on the ball, we stay focused on what we're doing, we don't get distractions, there are things that might seem unrelated to your business, but in fact they are. And that could be something to do with lifestyle, or the way your customers act or interact, and where they go and what they do and what they don't do. And it may seem like, well, that's not about our product, but yes it is. It's about the people who use your product. And so therefore you want to maintain that kind of information as well. One thing I'll tell you about customer satisfaction is this, is make it a priority. And the people that you want to listen to the most are the people that are not happy. Because the more you can get those people happy, the more happier people that you will have. So you need to understand why people are happy. But the people that you need to pay attention to are the people that, for some reason, they didn't feel it was just perfect. How do you get them to a stage where they feel that it is just perfect, right? And another part of this, the sales cycle in your marketing, is to understand, so when we're developing marketing, let's look at, so what do we have on hand in inventory, let's say, at this point in time? What have we got a lot of that we really need to move? So how do we create a marketing campaign around that to get that product to move? And then what are the things that we're really low in inventory right now that we just need to steer customers, not necessarily take them away, but steer them towards what we do have versus what we don't have, because we don't want to create dissatisfied customers unnecessarily. You don't ever want to create dissatisfied customers, but don't market something that you don't have an inventory of, because you can't supply it. So focus on the things that you do have while you get the inventory of the things that you'd love to market back into inventory, so you can develop a campaign that goes around those as well. So that's really important to do that. So let's take a short break before we come back for the last part of the marketing segment, and just think about some of the things that I've said. Go through the notes and have a look at those, and we'll be right back. Thank you.